Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing another Hit the Static album review, and this is on Lady Gaga's long-awaited Joanne. Let's get right into it. This album was released on Friday, October 21st at midnight, and I know that if you're like me, you're a little monster that has been anxiously waiting for this album. Her last album came out back in 2013, and that was Art Pop, which I was a huge fan of. According to Billboard, it says that her fourth solo album is Joanne, but counting, it's number 1, The Fame, 2, The Fame Monster, 3, Born This Way, 4, Art Pop, 5, ding 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 ding, Joanne. That's 5. Just saying. So let's talk about the title. The title Joanne was actually named after her late aunt, who passed away in the 70s, 12 years before Lady Gaga was born at the age of 19. She died from a chronic autoimmune disease called lupus. Lupus is a disease that attacks your immune system, and it can attack different parts of your body depending on the person. I happen to know a lot about lupus because I actually know 4 people in my life that have lupus. My amazing mother, Rosemary, my beautiful cousin, Veronica, and my 2 friends, Yasmin and Jordan. When I found out that Lady Gaga named her album after her aunt that had passed away from lupus, my heart just kind of like melted, because I actually understand the pain that lupus causes a family. And even though, you know, the 4 women that I know are still alive, they have gone through so many ups and downs, and, you know, to the point where they almost died. It's just a terrible disease, and I know that's a side note, but I just wanted to let you know why I feel so attached to the album and just the album title, Joanne. I also want to thank Lady Gaga for this album, and I want to tell those that have lupus out there to stay strong and try to live every moment to the fullest. Just know that you have support out there in your family and your friends and me. I love you all. Shout out to my mom. Switching over to the album cover. This album cover is definitely a lot more simple than we're used to seeing in Art Pop and Born This Way. With Art Pop, we saw lots of flashing colors, and in Born This Way, The Fame Monster is kind of more like a dark, grungy feel. This album is kind of just very simplistic. It's just like, it's a profile view of her. She's just wearing a pink hat with minimal makeup. Now, let's dive into the album. If you look on iTunes or Spotify, whatever you use, you see that the genre of this album is pop. And Lady Gaga also says, this is a pop album, this is not my country album, as some people are referring to it as. And I can attest to it not being a country album because I've heard it quite a few times, and I'm not the biggest fan of country, so if it was a country album, I'd probably not listen to it, although yes I would, because if it's Lady Gaga, I'm gonna listen to it regardless. But I still feel like it's not a country album at all. If anything, I would say it's a mix of like rock and roll with pop, with a little bit of twang, like I said earlier. The whole album is influenced by her family, her friends, and even some of her cowboy ex-boyfriends. So just a side note, Lady Gaga is doing the Super Bowl halftime show in February, and I am so excited because I know that she's probably gonna use songs from Joanne, and she's also gonna go back to all of her other albums, which just makes it obviously amazing, and I'm very excited, and I know that you are too, and if you're not, you should be. Alright, so back to the album. Rolling Stone calls it an old school 90s soft rock album, heavy on the acoustic guitar. I found myself very attached to this stripped down, kind of old school Lady Gaga, although I love her pop glam side as well. This kind of shows more of her raw talent. If you would compare it, I would say Lady Gaga's previous albums are Lady Gaga in its entirety, but this one is a mix of Lady Gaga, or the inner workings of Lady Gaga, and her real name, which is Stephanie Joanne Angelina Germanotta. So let's break this album down into songs. Diamond Heart is the first track on the album, and it has kind of like a rock popish vibe to it. The song opens up by her talking about how She became a go-go dancer and then was sexually assaulted by somebody in the music industry. It talks about her whole journey as an artist, starting off as a go-go dancer and then that happening with some guy in the music business. Kind of shows how she overcame the entire situation and how it's led to her becoming the artist that she is today. It made her rough around the edges, but she still has that diamond heart and that carefree spirit, that Lady Gaga that we love. The next song is called Ayo, and this one is a collaboration with Mark Ronson. You may know him from Uptown Funk and other songs. This one is sure to be a hit. It is super catchy with that clapping beat. It's like this. But it's also, it's like edgy and full of soul. Kind of reminds me of an old school song like Hey Ya by Outkast. This song is just fun and upbeat. And Lady Gaga actually explains what Ayo means to her, saying like, hey you, let's celebrate, let's go out and have a good time, and just leave the haters. It kind of reminds me of Miranda Sings Haters Back Off, which is irrelevant, but it's really funny. You should totally watch it. The next track on the album is actually my favorite track of the entire album, and it's called Joanne. This one is talking about her aunt, and like I said before, because I have so many people that I know that have lupus, I think that this song was the one that just kind of resonated with me. This one's all about her aunt with words like, heaven's not ready for you, or every part of my aching heart needs you more than the angels do. This song is kind of paying homage to her aunt. Her aunt was a poet and she was an artist as well. Lady Gaga feels like she is honoring her by being the artist that she should have been. You know, she died so young. There's actually one part of the song that part just really gets to me. It's at 155 of the song. Right here. The whole chorus says like, girl, where do you think you're going? Like, where do you think you're going? It's so sad when you think about, you know, her talking about her aunt who passed away. It's like, where do you think you're going? Like, come back. You're not finished yet. And so I feel like she's kind of like, I'm gonna finish it for you. When I first heard this album and I heard this song, I actually had a tear form, but not fall. It was just because I think about, you know, my mom, and I'm like, if anything would ever, you know, happen to her, this song would just be on repeat, you know, like, girl, where do you think you're going? Like, come back here, like, God's not finished with you yet. The next song is called John Wayne, and this is also one of my favorite songs. This song is actually talking about how she's kind of sick of the New York men that come in and out of her life, how she just wants to go back to her roots and go date a cowboy. She says that she's sick of their city games and that she craves a real wild man. The song starts out with Lady Gaga speaking, and she just wants to get on the horse and ride, and she just wants to go faster, and the word faster is so emphasized. It's kind of like she's screaming. She's just like, faster? No. Faster? No. That's the part of the song that made it my favorite. If you haven't heard it, you don't understand, but I promise you, you will understand. I would say that this song is very rock and roll, but it has a little twang to it as well. I see why she says that it's not a country album, because it definitely isn't. I see a lot of influences from her past albums like The Fame Monster. The next song is called Dancing in Circles, and this one was written by Beck and Lady Gaga. In an interview with Lady Gaga, she actually said that she kind of just sat down on a piano and he came in with a hummingbird guitar and they just wrote the song. And if you listen to it, it has that Alejandro type of Latin feel, but also like there's nothing else that I can say from The Fame. So she kind of is going back to the old Lady Gaga, but it's like with a new twist. This song actually has a more explicit meaning, and I'll just let you figure it out on your own, because yeah. The next song is called Perfect Illusion, which I'm sure you guys have heard because it is already on the radio. It was her first single from the album. It's just about the illusion created by social media platforms, and Lady Gaga just wants to reestablish that human connection that social media actually was intended for, as opposed to just creating that perfect illusion. And musically, one thing that stood out to me in this track was the key change, because you typically don't hear a key change in pop songs today. You hear them in Broadway songs or in other genres, but not pop at all. And so Lady Gaga was kind of, I would say, ballsy for putting this in a single, but of course, you know, it's Lady Gaga, so it's gonna be on the radio regardless, and it's gonna be mainstream. But I thought it was very daring of her, and I actually really liked it. I'm not the hugest fan of this song, but you know, after learning the message and just what it's saying, I actually really like it now. The next song is called Million Reasons, and again, this is one that you have probably heard on the radio. Million Reasons is actually one of my favorites. It is a ballad. This one was a collaboration with Hillary Lindsey, writer of Jesus Take the Wheel by Carrie Underwood and Girl Crush by Little Big Town. Lady Gaga says that there's a million reasons for her to go, but all she needs is one good reason to stay. And you just kind of feel like in the lyrics and in the music, it's just really, really heartfelt. It's all about heartbreak. This song will definitely get you in your feels. The next song is called Sinner's Prayer. If I could describe this song in a movie, it would be a Western movie where I am walking and I have a gun and then like the spike on the boots and the tumbleweed is passing. That's the exact picture that this song paints in my head. This song is about how she wants a guy to accept her the way she is, which is a sinner, and like all of us, we are all sinners. This song could be about Taylor Kinney, but I don't want to make assumptions because I don't know her, you know, her personal life. The next song is called Come to Mama. This has like a 50s vibe, and it kind of reminds me of a doo-wop song with the saxophone in the background. I like to think that Lady Gaga dedicated this song to the little monsters. That's me, that she's always going to be there and she's always going to support and love you no matter what. This song just encourages us to love because love is all we need, and how we need to build each other up instead of breaking each other down. She refers to the Bible a lot in this album, and one of the things that she says in this song is to not throw stones to your brothers and sisters and not bring them down, but continue to lift them up. It matters that we're all humans, that we just need to love each other and support each other and stop killing each other. The next song is called Hey Girl, and this one is featuring Florence Welch. This song is all about women empowerment, about how we all need to be there for each other, and that's not only your friends that are girls, but that's just everybody. You know, we need to stop bringing each other down, we need to lift them up. Everybody should know that they're beautiful. So according to Mark Ronson, this song is a more soulful 70s song. Lady Gaga actually says that, you know, we made a beautiful record for women, and that she thinks that Florence is one of the greatest singers in the world. The next song is called Angel Down. Lady Gaga openly says that this song is inspired and made for Trayvon Martin. The first lyric says, I confess I am lost in the age of the social. In this song, she just kind of shares her thoughts on what's going on in the world, as well as her spirituality and her religious views. This ballad is, again, very, very raw, and you can just feel the emotions of what she's feeling for the world and how her heart breaks for the world and what's going on nowadays. Track number 12 is called Grigio Girls. This one is another one of my favorites, and it refers to Pinot Grigio, the wine. When I first heard this song, it just reminded me of my friends and I when we get together and we just drink our pink wine. We just share in memories and love and laughter. And shout out to Marla, Nicole, Tori, and Chia in our wine gatherings. Getting back to this song is actually about one of Lady Gaga's friends who has cancer, and how she gets together with her friend group and they miss her because, you know, she's not there, and they just cry because she's not with them. And she just says that they pour their souls out like the wine pours out. As much as it's influenced by something sad that is happening in her life, it's also a celebration song where it's just, we have the support from each other to handle these situations that happen in our life, whether it's our friend having cancer or death in the family. You know, you have your friends to lift you up. The second to last song is called Just Another Day. This one reminds me a lot of The Fame, not the Fame monster, but The Fame. Lady Gaga actually refers to it as probably the most New York glam pop song on the album. If that doesn't scream The Fame, I don't know what does. This song actually talks about how she deals with her anxiety, and, you know, with fame comes just 10 times more anxiety. It's just another day, it's just another day that you're gonna get through it, and that kind of goes along with the theme of the whole album, where, you know, you're at one place, but all these obstacles are just gonna keep attacking you and attacking you and attacking you. And it's a struggle, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel. The last song on the album is Angel Down Work Tape, and this is the same song, Angel Down. It's just a one-take demo version of it. And I like that she included this song because it shows how vulnerable she was when she did this album. So yeah, that was definitely a good track to end the album with. Overall, I would rate this album as an A+. If I can add another plus in there, I would. The only downside to this album that I see is that it is 47 minutes long, and that is not long enough in my opinion. I crave more from her and I want her to come out with more songs because she's so talented. So now let's get to the Hit the Static portion of this review. Two of the songs are already on the radio, one being Perfect Illusion and the other one being Million Reasons. And the ones that I think should hit the static are Ayo, obviously, Diamond Heart, Dancing in Circles, and I would say my wish list radio would be John Wayne, Grigio Girls, and Just Another Day. Unfortunately, my favorite song on the album, Joanne, is probably not gonna hit the static, and that's perfectly fine with me because it's one of those songs that I'm just so attached to that I think that if it went mainstream, it would just get overplayed. I mean, I don't think I would get sick of it, but I don't think it would make it to the radio stations. And that's totally fine because she has like 17 other ones that will. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my review. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe. Let me know what other albums you want me to review and I will do my very best. And yeah, have a great week. Bye. My face is so itchy. Can you learn how to speak English? Okay, for real now. Goodbye.